Hey everyone, my name is Zach, and welcome back to the Dino Rabbit Format YouTube channel. So, last time we did one of these was in early October, and the tier list did look like this. Instead of going through all the decks again and re-tiering them, I decided to use the updated tier list from the last time we did it, but include new decks. We'll talk about these decks momentarily. But I wanted to go through all the tiers and explain some changes that have been made and or like upgrades, downgrades, etc. So tier 1 and 2 are the easiest tiers of them all because in my opinion, they stay the same. Nothing changes here. Again, I still feel Hero could potentially move up to tier 1, but for right now, you need to, there we go. It will remain a tier 2 deck. These top 8 decks will remain the top 8 decks. Tier 3 will remain entirely the same. None of these decks will move up or move down. The first change will be in the Rogue category. Throughout a lot of testing, I have had a ton of success, and it's unfortunate success, but a ton of success with Burn. So after a lot of testing and a lot of surprisingly positive matchups, I am moving Burn, Shane Burn, etc. from the Rogue category up to the Tier 3 category. Maybe this is just me getting lucky in testing, but this is how I feel about it at this time. That is the only change to Tier 3 of the original decks. There could be a Tier 3 deck, in my opinion, from the new decks. The Rogue category stays the same. Nothing from these will move up. Agents, I feel, has the potential to move up, but it will not at this time. And then, of course, from the casual category, I currently don't have any of these decks moving up from casual to rogue, as all these decks have their own flaws, though they are all very fun. So, now that we're done with that portion of the video, we can talk about the 8 new decks that I've added to the tier list. We'll go in order that they appear here, beginning with PacMan. So, PacMan is a deck that if you play GOAT format, or even occasionally in Reaper format, that you'll probably be familiar with. So PacMan is an acronym for Pure Advantage Camels, Munch All Noobs. It revolves around Deslakuta. It is a control deck that is very degenerate. It revolves around monsters that use their flip effects, though they're not flip monsters, such as Deslakuta, Swarm Scarabs, Swarm of Locusts, Golem Sentry, and like Medusa Worm, and even Stealth Bird, to consistently have advantage. And because of the way the deck plays, it can get away with playing a ton of floodgates that just make decks struggle. And of course, with them being flip effects, it gets around like very annoying cards. It lets you play around some of the top 2 tiers of decks very well. So, PacMan is overall a very good deck that is definitely not going to break into any of the top 3 tiers, but for right now, I'm going to put PacMan towards the top of casual, but you can also make the argument for the bottom of rogue. All right, next we have Kawaki Mirror Rockstun. Kawaki Mirror Rockstun is a deck that plays the 3 rock Kawaki Mirror monsters, which are Guardian, Wall, and Sandman, that all have different effects based on tributing them to negate various things. One's monsters, one's spells, one's traps. Unfortunately, we don't have Overlord yet. Overlord is just insanely good. This is another very fun control deck that, if played perfectly, will win you a ton of games, which I also feel gives this deck a lot of advantages. Unfortunately, it is a Kawaki Mirror deck, which does bring a lot of problems. Kawaki Mirror loses to itself because all the Kawaki Mirror cards have a maintenance cost, which forces you to reveal another Kawaki Mirror card called Iron Core of Kawaki Mirror, or a monster of the adjacent attribute. So if you're playing the rocks, you have to reveal a rock monster, an Iron Core, which can cause a lot of problems. So for now, we are going to put this in the casual category. I feel it's better than most of these decks, but not better than some of the higher end ones. So next we have Jinzo Returner OTK. So this is another like casual deck. Basically, the deck is just trying to use Jinzo Returner combo to Future Fusion and stuff just to OTK. Jinzo Returner allows you to just summon Jinzos from your graveyard. It's pretty cool. Um, and being able to abuse Future Fusion because of how busted of a card it is also very awesome, which is why I really like this deck. Unfortunately, it is a Future Fusion reliant deck that does not really have a follow up on like Chaos Dragon, to where this deck can just lose to itself. That's why this is another one of the casual decks. It like fits like somewhere in this area of the decks. Next, we have Morphtronics. Morphtronics are super cool. So Morphtronics in this format, I've been playing it is a more combo centric build, not a equip centric build. If we were doing the equip centric build, I just throw it in casual and call it a day. But the combo centric build, I feel like could be a rogue deck. But I'll explain why I'm going to put it in casual momentarily. So all the Morphtronics allow you to do different things. Self-on is an absurd card that lets you roll a six-sided die and mill cards to get cards. It lets you. It provides a really good advantage engine, and it's one of the few decks in this format that can abuse machine duplication. And of course, it's another deck that can just summon a shooting Quasar Dragon just really easily, which makes it a very good, strong deck. So right now, I do have it towards the top of casual, but this is another one of those decks that could be considered rogue at some point. So now we have Psychics. So Psychics, obviously Psychics do get their debut really in the following format when Jeff Jones goes and gets second place at YCS Toronto with Grand Soil Psychics, which came out in Return of the Duelists, which we do not have access to in this format. But I feel Psychics are still an alright deck. Their biggest problem is like they don't have like that boss monster to fall on, which makes them kind of bad. The good news is I've been playing them with TG, so TG Psychic has been such a fun deck for me. Unfortunately, the downsides are still there. The deck just kind of feels underwhelming at times, and overall, a very fun deck, but I am going to still put this in casual for now. I feel like with more testing, this could be turned into a rogue deck. All right, now we get into the big three decks that I have added to the tier list this week, or this month. So we'll begin with Herald of Perfection. Everyone pretty much knows Herald of Perfection at this point, whether you played modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Or old Yu-Gi-Oh! Herald of Perfection is just that one annoying boss monster that everybody fucking hates, because it's one of those cards that allows you to just negate every fucking card in existence. What do I mean by that? It's one of those cards that lets you discard a Light Fairy to negate whatever the fuck you want. And I feel like Herald of Perfection is like Agents, but better but worse. It's like higher ceiling Agents with more bricks. So I'm going to put this deck right now at the top of Rogue with like the other like Agent like mixed match decks. Though on a good day, Herald of Perfection could be tier 3. Now we have Stardust Dragon Assault Mode Turbo. And this is a deck that is really cool. And the only reason I'm going to tell you, this deck is really bad but really good, because if you can get a Stardust Dragon Assault Mode online early in the game, it is so difficult to out. Especially like with like these two decks, Rabbit and like Wind Up struggle. Inzectors kind of like struggle, but they can get around it eventually, and then Chaos Dragons, it's a pretty 50-50. I've seen the like testing. Stardust Dragon Assault Mode is one of the best boss monsters in the format, and I will put this in Rogue, though this is another one of them decks that can go into tier 3 on a good day if we find like the perfect build. And last but not least, we have Dragoonity. Dragoonity is a deck that probably should have been on the list the last time, but I kind of forgot about it. I've been testing Dragoonity off and on since I began picking up the format because I saw Dragon Ravine was still at 3. And, Ducks and Phalanx are still pretty cool cards. The Synchro Engine for a free 8 is awesome. This deck can combo for days. You can do a lot of things. Oh, also in a future deck profile coming up, we'll see a Dragoonity build featuring this card. Really fun build. I think you guys will really like it. Right now, Dragoonity, I'm going to put towards the top of Rogue, but again, another potential tier 3 threat. So yeah, again, I really am liking how this format has been evolving in playtesting. And by the way, to Heather in the Discord, just to let you know, I'm very close to moving Lightsworns to tier 2. Just letting you know, because I feel with Lightsworns, the more I play it, the more like super sacky it is, and the more I realize that honestly, sometimes it just does not care. And honestly, I like the deck, but yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys have any suggestions for other decks I can test, add to the list. What the? Oh, I just like shot down to the bottom. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace.